Is it a feeling of relief after that? When you are 1-0 down, you want to try and get the game back, and the lads did that. We were poor in the first half. They definitely had the first half and were in the ascendancy. We had to pick it up, be brave, be strong, be men, and come out, and the second half was mostly us. Scotty has done his job, with a fantastic save, and he was one that had a little scream up with me in the dressing room, so at least 2 wanted to win it, and the other boys showed they did too when they came out for the second half, because it was our second half. At halftime, what happened? Everyone had a few words, and we had to try and liven them up. There are a few who are young and inexperienced and don't say much, but we had to make men of them a little bit, and with all due respect to them, they came out and played like me in the second half, so at least we've seen it and we know it's in there. Gary Johnson sacked by Cheltenham Town after draw at Macclesfield Town. You maybe took a bit of a gamble putting Manny Duku on the bench, but it paid off. Yes, as managers we all take gambles. We all do things for a reason, and we don't just throw 11 names or 14/15 names up in the air and see what comes down. We know Manny is a good finisher and he doesn't mind getting into those dangerous areas, and it was a great bit of play from Alexei and a great finish by Duku, so it turned out well this time. And over a season you hope your decisions turn out better more than no so good. Did you fear the worst for yourself at 1-0 down with 4 minutes left? That's all past now. They will sing that every time we are 1-0 down, and it's not in my hands. I am going to do my best, as I do all the time, and things get reported and people will be shouting those things anyway, as they have made their mind up. But I am pleased for the lads, which is the main thing. I don't like the negative support, but they have turned up, and the lads I thought deserved their support at the end of the game and during the second half. Scott Flinders has been terrific in all 4 games so far, hasn't he? He has. Yes, he's a man who has been there and done it, and he knows what it takes. We have some men in the side. Boyley and Mullins had to work very hard against their 2 big UNS up there, and if you look around, there are 2 or 3 we've had to bring in who are finding their feet still. Jacob Maddox looks one of the best midfielders in the league, and some are hanging back, and we need to push them a little bit to show what they have got. That was the good thing about today. They deserved something for their efforts in the second half. This gives you something to build on now ahead of Cambridge away. Yes, it's nice to get a point on the board. We didn't come here for a point, but when you are 1-0 down from a set play that hit the post and went in, although Scotty made some very good saves in the first half. We had a lot of opportunities without making the goalkeeper make too many saves. He didn't save the goal, so that was nice that we are going home 1-1. I am totally relieved for the boys, not for me, because I have been around a long time now and heard chants like that before, and it's something you have to get on with. I was getting more from the opposition supporters behind my dugout, which drowned out our lads over the other side. Does the hunt for forward players go on? Of course it does, and the hunt for players always goes on. That's what we have to do and what we are doing. There will be 1 or 2 lads in next week. Well, I am almost certain there will be, so we need to create that competition, and when you lads are having to play Saturday, Tuesday and Saturday, we can give them a bit of a rest so that when they do come back after a week they are fresh, and we need a bit of that in the team. Do you think before Saturday? Yes, possibly. It's become a theme, starting poorly, but finishing strongly. Do you have any idea why that has been happening? Well, we started well against Colchester, so we know we have a first half in us. But they went long, right from kickoff, with 2 6'5" players up front, going long and chasing and keeping us in. We knew they'd do that, and you have to deal with it and show a bit of quality to get up the other end, either with a long quality ball or 5 or 6 short quality balls. We didn't do that, and there were free kicks and corners with the ball into our box. In the first half we defended a lot of things, but when we didn't, Scotty came up trumps with 2 very good saves. In the second half, I don't know, it's one of those things. A new team sometimes has a spade of those things, and then you have a spade of it being the other way around, and you want two halves together very quickly and be more potent and look like we can win games by 1, 2 or 3 ourselves. Can you describe what you were thinking when the penalty was being taken? Like any true supporters, I was gutted and I was willing Scotty to save it, and I was very pleased that he did. It gives me energy to your team when you could be 2-0 down. After that we gave it a right go and got the ball in their box. We had wingers on the ball, full-backs on the ball, and that's how I wanted us to play in the first half. They play quite narrow and we needed to go down the outside, but we didn't do that other than Jacob in the first half. When we changed it slightly, all of a sudden the wide lads and the full-backs were getting in the game. Chris Hussey went on for his debut. A look at class act. He's had 500 league games, which is why we've brought him in. De Gea looked a bit nervous. He still does good things, but when I see someone smash a free kick over the goal, it was obvious he was nervous. Hussey showed what he does, and I thought Calvin affected the game, and so did Dooku. People may ask why I didn't start with all of them. With hindsight it's easy to say, but anyway, we have come away with a point on the board. We are not celebrating, but we are pleased we turned it around. Are you trying to bring in more than one? I am not sure we'll have more than one before the weekend, but we will try before the deadline. We are trying to anyway.